So we're going to make a start here with our swan dive. So we're going to come firstly into our level 1. So take hold of that small head cushion to begin with. Take those small balls and just pop them just at either side of that head cushion, coming down onto your tummy. So for that swan dive level 1, you now have the option here to just rest those hands onto those balls. So position your head on that cushion, find that neutral neck position, engage through your centre, tilt your tailbone down if you need to, use a bigger cushion under your tummy if you need to. So coming into that swan dive level 1, so we're thinking about peeling that head and that chest away from the floor, keeping that gentle head nod chin tuck as we work the muscles through the front of the neck and the back of the neck. Breathe out. Breathe in to lower. And just gently resting those hands onto those small balls if you have that option. Lovely. Just gently destabilising you a little bit. So you need to just work a little bit harder through those muscles in your neck. If you don't have those balls, you'll just simply have those hands resting on the floor. As you lift and lower. Lovely. Keep going there. Breathing out as you lift and in as you lower back down. As you lift, the crown of your head, that piece of string, grows long. You keep that soft peach held between your chin and your chest. You keep your centre set, tailbone tilting down so you don't get that big dip in your lower back. So you're either hands on the floor or hands resting on the ball. Lovely. Take a pause. Now you have the option to carry on exactly like that, or you now have the option to move on to your level 3. So this time we're going to lift the hands as well. So as you peel that head and chest off, then the hands just lift gently off that ball, and then just replace everything back down. Breathe out. Keep that length in the back of the neck. Crown of the head grows tall. Lovely. As little activity as possible in the lower back as you carry on there. Keeping that lower belly engaged, keeping that pelvic floor drawing up, tailbone tilting down, trying to eliminate that big dip in your lower back. Breathe out as you lift, in as you lower. If you're not using those balls, your hands are simply resting, coming off the floor, and then lowering back down. Breathe out. And in. Lovely. Length in the back of the neck. Shoulders nice and open. Collarbones wide. Shoulders away from your ears. Let's go for one more after this one, wherever you are. And release back down. Lovely. Good. Just roll those balls forward a moment. Push yourself back. And take a nice child stretch there. Just reach those hands forward, just holding into that child pose stretch, just to release off the back and the shoulders for a moment. Lovely. And then we're coming back down onto our tummies. This time roll those balls, if you have them, down by your sides. And rest with palms facing down on the balls. Obviously, if you don't have those balls, just rest those palms down onto the ground. Pop that forehead back onto the pillow. We're going into our breaststroke prep level 2. Set your centre. Engage. So we're peeling and rolling those balls. Push those balls towards your feet. If you're not using the balls, just push those hands towards your feet. As you peel that head and chest, reaching those hands down your body. Lovely. Keep going there. Breathe out as you lift. And in as you lower. Good. Keep going with that movement wherever you are. As you lift, that piece of string pulls your head long. And lower. As you lift, you keep that soft peach between your chin and your chest. Don't drop it. Don't squash it. You peel the front of the shoulders away from the mat. Open those collarbones. You keep your lower belly and your pelvic floor engaged. Drawing in, drawing up. And you keep your tailbone tilting down so that you're working the shoulders and the top of the back and trying to eliminate too much work through that lower back. Lovely. Let's go for 2 more here. Breathe out. And in as you lower. Lovely, good work. Roll those balls to the side. Push yourself back into a wide leg child pose this time. So just open the knees if you've got that available to you. And just let everything sink down into the mat. Holding there for a moment, just to release. And breathe. Lovely. So next we're coming up onto our all fours. So a little bit of a challenge here, onto that stability in this position. We're going to work on some swimming here. Now we're going to take that small ball and you're going to pop it onto your back. So we're always talking about that tray of drinks balancing onto our back. So position those knees under your hips, position those hands under your shoulders. So we're going to go for our level 1 first of all. We're going to move the same leg, okay? So you're keeping that ball, that tray of drinks, balancing across. Set your head and neck position neutral, soften those elbows so you're not putting too much pressure through those joints. Breathe in and then out as you push one leg away from you, coming up into your swim 1 if you've got that available and you feel nice and steady, that ball is nice and balanced. Lovely. And then back in. If you're feeling a bit wobbly, just draw that line along the floor, keep the toe engaged with the floor and then draw it back in again. So 2 options. Number 1, and breathe in as you come back in. Or number 2, if you're a bit steadier, you lift that leg the whole way. You're keeping that ball balanced in the centre of your spine as you draw back in, repeating with the same leg. Breathe out, engage that centre, draw that lower belly away from the mat. Even up that weight bear, remember that centre pole from the top of your head right down through to your tailbone. You're staying nice and central on that centre pole. Breathe. And in. Lovely. Let's go for 3 more this side. Keep that soft peach held between your chin and your chest. Don't squash it. Don't drop it. Keep that lower belly engaged. 1 more here. Keep that pelvic floor drawing up. Pelvis nice and neutral, headlights nice and straight. Replace that leg. We're switching to the other side. So remember, you've got 2 options here. Starting with the simplest option. Push, draw that line. Keep the toes engaged or lift that foot if you want to. Draw it back in. Again, breathe out. And in. Keep that ball balanced in the centre of that back. Don't let it roll off. Obviously, if you don't have that ball available, you're just doing this, working hard on keeping that centre and that spine, that pelvis nice and neutral. Headlights on the front of your hips facing the mat. Headlights on the back of your hips facing the ceiling. Lovely. Wherever you are, working hard through that centre, stabilising and concreting your pelvis and your spine. Holding that soft peach. Back of the neck nice and long. Keep those elbows nice and soft. Keep that weight nice and central. Let's go for 2 more. Lovely. Breathe out as you raise that leg. And in as you lower back down. Good work. Lovely. Take a moment. We're going to move on to our level 2 version here, moving the hands. So keeping that ball where it is, or if you don't have the ball, reset through your spine, engage the lower belly, draw up the pelvic floor, lengthen the back of the neck. We're going to reach 1 hand forward. We're going to alternate with the hands now this time. And back down. Lovely. Switch sides. Keep that ball balanced. Imagine if you haven't got the ball, you've got that tray of drinks, or just imagine that ball there. Lovely. And replace. Breathe out. And in. Lovely. Collarbones stay open. Shoulders away from your ears. melting down your back. Lovely, nice and soft in the elbows as you lift that hand. Watch that supporting arm that you don't lock up through that elbow. Keep the length in the back of the neck. Good work. Let's go for 4 more. Good. 3 more. Keep steady through that spine. Headlights on your hips. Stay nice and steady. Last 2. And 1. Good work. Take that ball out from your back, sit back on your heels again and give those wrists a little stretch one way. Hold for a moment there. And then the other way. The other one way. And then the other way. Lovely, good work. So we're going to turn around onto our backs now and do a little bit of work there. We're going to come into some abdo prep here. Just take a moment as you lie back down. We've worked quite hard through the neck and through the shoulders there. So take that head onto that cushion and just take a moment just to roll that head from side to side. Just a few times just to ease out that neck before we set ourselves up for that abdo prep. Lovely. Good work. So remembering our positioning here in this rest position, take that diamond, find your neutral, draw up through the pelvic floor, remember that blueberry, that Malteser, remember those magnets drawing in, rib cage drawing down, that spring engaged, collarbones smiling wide, shoulder blades melt into the mat, back of the neck nice and long. So we're coming into abdo prep. So we've got those small balls down by our sides, we're just resting those hands onto those balls. Lovely. Feet in line with your hips, knees in line with your hips, nice and even. Imagine you've also got a tray across the top of those knees. So let's roll those balls as we peel our head, peeling up through that rib cage, gaze over the knees, and then rolling back down. Lovely. Breathe out. And in. Remember that spring, tightening between your lower rib and your front hip bone. Remember that length in the back of your neck. Gaze over those knees to keep that nice neutral head and neck position. Even though we're rolling up, you keep those collarbones smiling wide, shoulders away from the ears, and most importantly, you're engaging through that lower belly and you're keeping that pelvic floor drawing up. Knees and legs nice and steady. Breathe. And in. If you're starting to feel it a lot in your neck, you might want to just take your hands, support your head if you need to. Building strength in the neck to tolerate these head up positions. The harder you work through your center and your tummy, you're going to take less pressure into the head and the neck. Lovely. Let's do 2 more here before we move on to our oblique version. And obviously if you don't have those balls, those hands are just on the floor, rolling up and down. Lovely. Take a moment there. Just roll that head from side to side again a few times. Good work. Lovely. Pull the shoulders up to the ears, push them back down, shoulders up to the ears, push them back down, glide those shoulder blades up and down the mat. Lovely, and come with them resting down, shoulder blades melting into the mat. So we're going to come into our oblique version. So obviously if you don't have that ball, just have hand resting on the mat, and everybody's going to have that other hand behind their head. If you've got the ball, you're having that hand resting to roll onto that ball. So we're coming up to the opposite knee, this time gazing across that opposite knee, diagonal line from the lower rib across to the front hip bone. Breathe out and in. Good work. Lovely. Imagine that crisscross, that X across your belly. You're drawing one rib down to the opposite hip bone. You're breathing out as you lift and in as you lower back down. Lovely. You're gazing over that opposite knee. The knees stay nice and steady. You've got a tray balancing across the top of those knees. Lovely. Even weight bearing through those feet. Working hard through the belly, keeping that lower belly engaged, pelvic floor drawing up, working that spring, healing that rib cage. Breathe. Not pulling on the head, just having that hand there guiding you up. Let's do one more this side. And release. Lovely. Let's move straight onto the other side. So if you've got your ball, you just rest that hand onto the ball, other hand to the side of your head. Let's go. Crisscross across your belly. Diagonal line from one lower rib to the opposite hip bone, gazing over that opposite knee. Breathe out. And in. Lovely. Out. And in. Keep going. Breathe. And out. Lovely. Breathe. Engage through that lower belly. Keep that pelvic floor drawing up. Collarbones open. Last two. And one. And release. Lovely. Take that hand down. Take the legs long. Take the arms long and have a little stretch out there. Really good. Just flex the toes and point the toes. Flex the toes and point the toes. Lovely, good. Coming back to that rest position, hands float back down. This time if you've got those balls, so just make sure you come back into those feet in line with your knees in line with your hips. Take that neutral position again. If you've got those balls, you're going to float them up, push them towards the ceiling. Obviously, if you haven't got the balls, just hold your hands up towards the ceiling. Just reset through your head and neck if you need to. Open those collarbones, melt those shoulder blades into the mat. So holding those balls there, we're going to come into our one leg stretch. So we're going to come into our level 2 to begin with. So it's nice and steady through the upper body, keeping those balls nice and still. We float one leg up. We push away on that diagonal line, reaching for that light switch, turn it on, and then replace that foot back down again. So then we're going to switch sides. Other leg comes to tabletop. Push for that switch. Let's turn it off. Coming back and replacing back down. Nice and steady through your center. Breathe out. And in. Out. And in. Good work. Out. And in. As you come back in. Lovely. Now continue on here with that level 2. Or if you want to, you can come into that double tabletop, which I'll show you now, and work from your level 3. Good. So holding in that tabletop, continuing to push those legs away, one at a time, as you hold those balls to the ceiling. Lovely. So wherever you are, whether you have feet down, alternating in that level 2, or whether you're coming from that double tabletop, continue there. Let's check through the body. Hands towards the ceiling, either holding those balls or without. Back of the neck nice and long. Front of the neck nice and soft. Collarbones open, shoulder blades melting into the mat. Lower rib gently drawing down, engaging that spring. Lower belly drawing magnets together. Pelvis nice and neutral. Pelvic floor engaged. Lovely. Wherever we are, I'm going to show you the level 2 as well. Now continue where you are. Last 2. Breathe out. And 1. Well done. Float those balls down. Lovely. Just move them up a little bit and just roll those knees from side to side a couple of times. Just giving a little release there before we move on to the next exercise. Good work. Lovely. So now we're going to work on a little bit of hip twist. So glue those feet and those knees together for our level 1. So we're going to push those balls towards the ceiling again, or obviously without, just take those hands to the ceiling. Set your center, set your posture. So we're going to just hold the balls still to begin with. We're coming into that level 1, so we're going to open one leg out to the side. So you're really thinking about your headlights here. So continue there, alternating sides. Lovely. Open that page of the book with your knee and then draw it back into centre. Keeping those headlights on the front of your hip bones glued towards that ceiling. Don't let them rotate, don't let them follow the knee. Keep that lower belly engaged, that pelvic floor drawing up gently. Keep that blueberry there. Lovely. Good work. Breathe out. And in. Breathe out. And in. So you're trying to keep that support leg, the non-moving leg, really nice and steady the whole way through the movement. You're keeping those headlights glued to the ceiling. The only thing moving is that leg drawing out to the side and back in. Lower belly engaged. Back of the neck nice and long. Shoulder blades melting into the back, collarbones open. So option here to add some arm movements in now. So the opposite arm, as you move the leg, comes down with that ball. If you haven't got the balls, just that arm movement back into the side. Breathe out. And in. Lovely. Keep that spring engaged between your lower rib and your front hip bone, especially as you move that knee out. Watch that opposite rib, watch that opposite hip. Keep that headlight nice and straight. Lovely. Let's go for 3 more. Last 2. Keep that support leg nice and steady. Draw that line out to the side and back in. Good work. Pop those knees back down for a moment. Good. Okay, so we're going to come into some shoulder bridge now, and we're going to use those balls just to help us up into that bridge, okay? So we're going to push those balls towards the ceiling or hold those hands up. So just walk your feet out a little bit again, and firstly just slide that pillow just out from under your head. So push those balls to the ceiling. Let's roll up into that bridge. Remember, we're peeling those pieces of the spine off the mat. Lift your tailbone. Start to lift the base of the spine, middle of the spine, coming to rest on your shoulder blades. Lovely. Hold there for a moment. Check in with your body. Check down the front of your body. Lower belly engaged. Spring engaged from your lower rib to your front hip bone. Sit bones drawing together to really engage through those buttocks. Nice and even weight bearing through the feet, through the legs. Now let's start to peel back down, keeping those arms up towards the ceiling. Lovely. Slowly back down. Good. Let's work our way back up again. Roll off that tailbone. Lovely. Good work. Peel up, engage those buttocks. Push as high as you can, keeping that control. Nice and soft in the neck. Open across the front of the shoulders, and then let's peel back down again. Good work. Let's go again. Peeling up. Push those headlights towards the ceiling. Breath flowing out on the way up. Now hold at the top this time. Engage those sit bones, drawing those buttocks together, and start to push those headlights a little bit further towards the ceiling. Let's go for little breaths, little pushes. Lovely, good work. Holding just a few more for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold there. Let's take those balls overhead as we hold up in that bridge. Back to centre, just a few here in that hold. Overhead, back to centre. Lovely. Breathing out as those balls travel down, in as they come back up. Keep the front of that body engaged, that spring engaged, that lower belly engaged, pelvic floor drawing up. Let's go for 1 more here. Lovely. Hold those balls and start to drop through the breastbone. Lovely. Peeling and melting that spine back down towards the mat. Good work. Drop those balls down. Hug those knees in towards your chest. Lovely, hold it there for a moment, just roll around a few times, release off that lower back and that spine there. Good work. So let's take that pillow back under our heads now. Lovely. So we're going to do a little bit of double leg stretch now, okay? So we're going to come into that double leg stretch, level 2 to begin with. So we're going to float one leg up into tabletop and then the other leg. Keep that nice neutral spine. Take hold of those balls if you have them and push them towards the ceiling. So we're going to hold and maintain that centre, that neutral here in that double tabletop as we start to drop the balls overhead, semicircle round, coming back up to centre. Breathe out. And in. Lovely. Watch those ribs as those balls go overhead. Keep that spring engaged. You don't want that lower rib drawing up. You keep that lower rib drawing down. Keep that centre engaged. Keep that lovely posture and neutral through your rib cage, through your pelvis. Lower belly magnets drawing together. Pelvic floor gently drawing up and engaged. Lovely. Breathe. Back of the neck nice and long, collarbones nice and open, smiling wide, shoulders away from the ears. Lovely. Let's go for one more before a pause. Good. Holding up in that double tabletop, but take a rest if you need to. Just have a little reset through your neutral here. Check you have that flat line in through between your belly button and your pelvic bone, your pubic bone on the front of your pelvis there. Lengthen in the back of the neck. Imprint those shoulders into that sand, into that mat underneath you. We're going to move into some scissors. So take those balls to your legs. Lovely. We're going for our scissors level 2. So tap one toe down to the mat and back up again. So you're just using that resistance of the ball, gently pushing into the leg and back up. Obviously, if this level 2 position is too much, you're getting a little bit tired or uncomfortable in this double tabletop, come for your level 1. So just floating one leg up and back down, other leg up and back down. Just using that work and that resistance of the ball into the leg. Lovely, good work. Breathe. Wherever you are, nice and neutral through the head, neck and shoulders. Keep that rib drawing down. Keep that spring engaged. I'm going to come back up into that level 2 to show those of you who are doing that level 2. Good work. Push into that ball and then push that ball back with your leg. Lovely. Lower belly engaged. Pelvic floor engaged. Nice and neutral. The only thing moving is that leg. For 4, 3, lovely. Open those collarbones. Last one. Good. Wherever you are, just floating back down. Good. Pop those balls down to the side. Good work. So we're going to come onto our sides now, just work a bit deeper into the hips there. So coming onto your side. Obviously, if you don't have those balls, just copy those arm movements without the balls. Everything can be done without the equipment. So let's just set ourselves up for our clam. So coming into that side position, just take hold of your towel or your pillow. You're just going to need the one ball here now. So if you just look down, your heels are roughly in line with your bottom. Hips bent, knees bent, top hip drawing slightly down and forward, so those headlights face forward. Shoulders facing forward, head and neck nice and relaxed. Set your centre, nice and neutral through the spine. Engage through your lower belly, draw up through your pelvic floor. We're going to come to our clam level 1. So let's just keep those feet glued together. Start to open that top knee up and down, opening like a clamshell. Keep that centre engaged. Good. Breathe out. And in, working through this top hip. Nice and deep into that hip in the top and the side of the hip. Lovely. Breathe. And in. Option to add now a little arm movement. So just pop that ball down onto the top leg. As you open that clam, take the ball overhead, and as as you close it, drop that ball back down to the thigh. Obviously you can just do this movement without that ball. Lovely. So watch here as you're moving that arm. Make sure you don't roll back with it. Keep the headlights facing forward. Keep that rib engaged. Keep that lower belly engaged. Good work. So having to just stabilise and work a little bit harder through that hip. Obviously these balls can still sometimes feel a little bit heavy. So if any pain or tension or strain in the shoulder, just do that arm movement without the ball. Lovely. Keep going. Let's go for 3 more. Last one, lower belly engaged. Good, lovely. Just pop that ball to the front for a moment. So this time, we're going to take that top leg up. We're coming into our side kick level 1. So let's start with those leg movements to begin with. Forward and back. Lovely. So glue your spine, glue your pelvis. The only thing moving is this leg. So watch with these side kicks that you don't flex and extend the spine as you move. Keep everything glued, shoulders facing forward, headlights facing forward. Keep that lower belly engaged, support you through that movement. Option now. As you come forward, touch that ball to the knee. As that knee goes back, bring that ball overhead. Touch and release. Lovely. Keep everything engaged. We're just destabilising ourselves a little bit more with that added movement with the ball. So you're having to work a little bit harder to keep those headlights nice and steady, to keep that spine nice and steady. Lovely. Obviously, if you don't have that ball, you can just do the same without. Touch the leg, reach the hand. Touch the leg, reach the hand. Good. Breathe out. And in. And out. And in. Let's go for 2 more. Last one. Lovely. And come back to centre. Good work. So you might want to just drop that leg forward, give that buttock a little tap there. Good. So we just need to finish off now and do that same little sequence onto the other side. So wherever you are, just shift yourself over onto the other side. If you've got the ball, just keep it handy there. Lovely. Take that head into that neutral position, shoulders facing forward. Set up for your climb level 1. So feet in line with your bottom roughly, top hip forward, slightly facing down, headlights facing front, lower belly engaged, pelvic floor drawing gently up. Just a couple of reps to begin with without the arms. Open that top knee and back down. Open that clamshell and release. Breathe out and in and out. Really working those muscles in that top hip. Lovely. Good. Now option to add that arm now. As you open, arm comes overhead. As you release, it comes back down. Lovely. Keep an eye on that top headlight. Don't let it flash up towards the ceiling. Keep it pointing directly forward. Keep that lower belly engaged. Each time you lift, just check in that you're drawing those magnets together. Each time you lift, just check in that that blueberry is still drawing up into your back passage. Lovely. Good work. Keep breathing. Good. Working that top hip. Those really important muscles. Keep that neck and that head and shoulders nice and relaxed. Lovely. One more. Good work. Pop that ball back down or press the hand down again for a moment. Top leg comes up. Side kick level 1. Forward and back. Like you're dusting a coffee table on the underneath side of that knee. Lovely. Gently drawing that leg forward and back as it hovers just at hip height. Good work. Breathe out and in. Option to add that arm now. Touch and release. Good. Touch and extend. don't have that ball, you're just using that hand into that same movement. So watch as you're moving that arm now, that spine stays steady. Everything stays glued in your pelvis, in your spine. The only thing moving is this leg backwards and forwards into that side kick position. Lovely. Working around that top hip. Let's go for 2. Shoulders nice and steady. Last one. Good work. And pop everything back down. Drop that top hip forward. Little tap there. Good work. And then just have a little roll round onto your back. And get yourself ready for a nice little cool down stretch off there.